everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Nasdaq Spotlight, live here at the Microsoft Ignite conference. I'm Anna Gonzalez, and joining me now is Athina Kanioura, who is a managing director at Accenture. Athina, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
So we were speaking a little bit before we were live on camera. Global managing director. Tell us a little bit about your role and how you work with your clients.
So I've been with Accenture for the past 13 years. I'm running globally data science for the company, which means 3,000 data scientists across industries and functions. And my role is to develop industry and functional solutions for our major clients across the globe. I'm very happy with how our clients are transforming themselves through the power of AI, data, and machine learning, which is my key priority for Accenture.
I cannot wait to dive into to find out exactly what that means. But first, what brings you to the conference today?
Well, obviously Microsoft is a big partner of Accenture. We have our joint venture with Athina. We have been working with Microsoft very closely, especially in the past 2 years, in developing industry vertical solutions on top of the Azure platform. And I was a speaker, so I had a session on AI-fueled revenue growth with client examples. And here I am in the event.
That's fantastic. Can you share some of those client examples? Or?
So one of the client examples I brought to life was from a big alcobev company, global alcobev company, where we are helping through the power of the Microsoft Azure platform to transform the way they go to market, how they redefine their commercial processes, and how they are able to embed analytical processes and AI within their sales and marketing function, but in a way where you can automate the data supply chain, the modeling framework, and the execution, but at a global scale. So what we have done with many of our clients and with the help of Microsoft, taking them through the journey of back office and front office transformation at an enterprise level by embedding AI solutions that will allow them, instead of going through this transformation journey, throughout a 3-year horizon, to 6 months, to 9 months. So both at scale, but with a higher level of automation.
And as you're working with all these companies, is there a common thread that you're noticing in what makes this process easier, go faster, smoother? So something that leaders should be keeping in mind as they are considering this transformation for themselves.
Look, the AI and machine learning have been around, for many, many years. I think the power of technology now and how the companies harness the technology is really enabling the enterprise-wide transformation, which is a common theme. I think the hardest part is the adoption, especially from the business stakeholders, because even if you plug in the best of technologies with the highest level of automation, still there's the human component, which is very hesitant in using AI and intelligent automation for decision-making at scale. So still, I think there's going to be a journey, and as Microsoft and Accenture, we are helping our clients through change management and consulting and advisory roles to be able to take this transformation to the next level, but always respecting the human aspect of their business.
Right, and I think that's one of the themes that's coming even from today, which is just the beginning of the conference, is respecting the human aspect and really how do you use technology to enhance what only humans can do so far?
Yeah, well, we have a theme human plus machine in Accenture, and of course Microsoft is a key partner in this domain. And if you were to look at an enterprise across the board, there will be components that, some of the jobs will become redundant in the future, especially in the back office, HR, finance space. So we need to be responsible and repurpose the humans and the people that work in this domain. We are actually working with a very big retailer in the US on how you retrain the workforce and find them actually new jobs within the enterprise and across the ecosystem, and how we can utilize the basic academic qualifications they have, but in a much more productive way. So one of the key things that we will see more and more is how you can do upscaling, retraining, how you can redefine the educational system for professionals that are becoming slightly more irrelevant in the mix. And of course, then how you can fuel growth in the enterprises by using AI at a larger scale than what we have seen so far.
So you have that human capital, for lack of a better word,
Yes.
right? So if you have that, you have automation, then that's an incredibly powerful force together.
Even within Accenture, that we are, almost close to 500,000 people across the globe, AI has been very pervasive. So if you were to think of our BPO practice, our operations technology practice, we have embedded AI across the value chain, which of course has raised the question, what are you going to do with those humans? I mean, those big units that we have in India, in Philippines, in some of our outsourcing facilities. But Accenture kind of being very smart in terms of how they utilize and how they repurpose those folks. They have created new business opportunities. They have reskilled extensively those individuals. And what we've managed to do is still grow the business without having to let go of our core kind of practice within these major geographies. So I think it's a balance, and you have to plan ahead of the curve. Otherwise, you run a risk where there will be some roadblocks, and you will eventually have to decide what you are going to do with your human workforce. So Accenture and Microsoft are really working in this human reskilling aspect very closely in order to help not just the clients, but both the corporations,
right,
in terms of the next generation and the journey ahead of us.
Right, that's so exciting. So as you think about, you have 3,000 data scientists that you're working with. I can imagine that they're broken into different subject matter expertise. Is there an area or a few areas that really drive you, and when it comes to the excitement and innovation that you're seeing out there right now, what most excites you about the future?
Well, I look at it in two different streams. One is the pure innovation stream, and the other one is the industrialization stream. First of all, our main focus within Accenture is solutions at scale. How we can create repeatable assets with one-to-many applications that we can help our clients at an enterprise-wide level being able to replicate those capabilities and providing results extremely fast without having to customize solutions again and again and again if they want to execute at a local level. So that's one which is extremely exciting for me, because we are moving very fast from the MVP to a production, to an asset in production in 3 to 4 months maximum.
Wow.
However, the innovation aspect is equally important, because I have data scientists, and data scientists want to continuously think of what is the next best thing I should be developing. They love to code, so they love the tough problems. So things that we are doing, especially in emerging markets, on how we can help poverty in Africa and the Blind Association in India by using AI and machine learning, how we are working with some of the governments in Asia around drug abuse and crime prevention. These are the things that are very exciting for our data scientists, because they are giving something back to the society, but at the same time being academically challenged by solving these complex problems.
Well, and is it true then that that's part of what AI and automation will help with, right? So if we're not having to figure out exactly how to code some of the more mundane things, then we can free up our minds to create something that would be that impactful.
Exactly. So if you were to think of the portfolio of clients that Accenture has, which is pretty much the majority of the big clients across the globe, we don't have the luxury, our data scientists, to write custom codes or develop custom solutions for every client. So with automation, we are freeing up their time. So comparing to the past, where for a big problem I might have needed 10, 20 data scientists, now I need 2 data scientists. But their job is to actually look into the insights that data science and automation are bringing and provide the best recommendations to our clients, rather than doing the nitty-gritty coding all the time.
So that's very exciting. And let's shift gears a little bit, if you're ready, for a little lightning round questions.
Perfect.
So in all of the travel, all
travel all the time. I'm in an airplane all the time. I wouldn't live without the music. So I need Spotify full time. So that's my app.
I completely agree with you. Just having that music help guide you through any situation.
Calm me down.
Yes.
And, helps me focus and takes out all the noise outside. Even at work, when I am in the office and I have no meetings, I put Spotify in the music and then I do my work. So it's a calming factor for me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say is the coolest tech that you use in your office?
Coolest tech? Wow, that's a good question because we have so many cool technologies around. We actually are using VR and we are experimenting with teleporting.
Oh, yeah.
So virtual meetings. Because if you were to think of how much we travel across the board, pretty much you are losing a lot in terms of productivity. So by using holograms and actually being able to be in different places, not physically, but actually from a presence perspective, is something that I really cherish when we have global meetings with clients. So it's not teleporting, obviously, with the actual sense of the world, but hologram when it comes to telepresence meetings is something that I really enjoy doing.
That I would put on my headset.
You put your headset and actually they can see you
you can see the boardroom.
In the same boardroom you can see the hologram of you. So it's very interactive.
What does the hologram look like?
Well, the hologram looks like me.
It looks like so it's not like a character.
No. You can put an avatar if you want.
Yeah,
I haven't tried an avatar with my clients.
Very professional.
Maybe I should try it with some of my clients, but no, not an avatar. The actual me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That is really exciting.
So this is something that we have been experimenting with some clients, and it's part of our technology labs, where we do a lot of innovation. And of course, the other exciting thing is we have invested in quantum.
What does that mean?
Quantum computing.
Oh, okay. Not quantum physics.
No, quantum physics is...
we're teleporting people, we're traveling through time.
Quantum computing is based on quantum physics. So it's extremely exciting for us. Obviously, we have our big partners that we are co-ideate and co-invest in the R&D space. But being in this environment where everything is being run at these high speeds, which is obviously the future, it's equally exciting.
And what do you do when you're not working and traveling and dreaming up new innovations?
Well, I do have to spend time with my family.
Yes.
We discussed earlier. I am married, happily married still, and I do have 2 boys, 9 and 6, which take a lot of my time. And as a family, we are avid tennis players.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we all go to tennis games, tennis matches with the kids. So it's
great.
a relaxing, time.
Family time.
Family time, yes.
Well, as we wrap up, do you have any words of wisdom or advice for other people who are sitting, watching this interview and thinking, wow, one day I hope I could be like Athina and be doing some of the work that you do?
Well, I think now the way the industry is moving, both in terms of technology but also business and transformation, has to have AI embedded within pretty much every business process. So my advice is the ones that have children, make sure that they are going on the right track, education-wise. I'm actually one of the global sponsors of Girls in STEM. Microsoft is working very closely with me across many of our geographies on how we can encourage, especially girls, to go into STEM. This is the future. For me, having diversity within the AI world and having the female brain along with the male brain to make decisions is extremely important. So my advice is nothing is impossible, as one of my clients' logo is, and I will not say which client it is, but be very focused. AI gives a lot of opportunities. Education now gives the platform for our younger generation to embark in this AI journey, and we have to
for taking